Akash Inti, it's the real reflection of you. Just finished up showering, brushing my teeth, starting to get ready for bed, and I had a blast today. Everything from playing around on Photoshop and all these different, really like Adobe apps, which I hadn't played around on some of them before. I was learning a couple of the new ones, but others was like it was just like a glove in hand, playing around on social media, everything from Instagram to Facebook to Tumblr to you name it. So just getting back into that, doing some research into that whole space, and man, I'm loving it. I love the just going back into it. It's like it reminds me of a lot of things and of a lot of the times that I really enjoyed the creative energy, just that creativity. And as I do it, as I go through the processes, as I play around on some of these things, and even Excel, right? I was playing around on Excel and PowerPoint today, which was like, oh, that's interesting. Not something I would have expected to be doing, especially kind of more in the creative field, and yet at the same time, it's just coming back to me. So it's so cool to me to see how all of these different things mesh, right? And the interesting bit to me really is like, it's helping me to better understand what am I really doing, right? For the longest time, I had a hard time characterizing what am I doing and how do I package kind of what I do to someone else, right? That was like it took me a long time to figure that out, and I still kind of figure that out. Every single day I'm still figuring that out. It's more and more what I'm realizing is it's like I do digital stuff, right? Everything from digital strategy to e-commerce to the creative aspects to it to even some of the business management aspects to it to the strategy. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I mean, some of the different clients that I serve, most at the moment, most of them, all of them actually are entertainers in some capacity. So that's really, really interesting. Or media and entertainment. I should really say media and entertainment. I think that's a better characterization. So, but it's fun to me. It's playing around. It's getting to know more people. It's playing on some of these different apps and what do you like, just digital media tools. And to me, it's really play, right? It's like I just get a chance to mess around, to play around, and use the tools that I know for different applications. Now, moving forward, I don't know where it'll be, right? I love what I'm doing at the moment, and I love kind of tapping into that creative energy and such. So I'm riding that wave for right now. I like to give myself that flexibility, that adaptability to pivot, to move around a little bit, to give myself some maneuverability more than anything. So I really enjoy that, and I really like that a lot. And that's one thing I was really searching for, as I really look back on it and think back on it. If I look back into my own story, it was like I wanted that maneuverability. I wanted to be able to do projects in this field, that field, that field, and kind of pivot between the different fields and of interest to me. It's like it's not just because I did one thing once that it's like, all right, well, that's done forever, right? I mean, some of you guys have been following me. You knew me in the biotech space um, and just work that I did there, right? Working with some of the world's most innovative drug dealers, as I like to call them, but really drug developers. These were everyone from developing new cancer drugs to developing new therapies for rare diseases to cell therapies to organ regeneration, you name it. I was working on those types of projects and I loved it, right? It was like getting involved in that science, and I've seen myself just returning back almost to the creative space. So it's so cool to me just to see how these things interplay, um, and one of the most interesting things, right, is like a lot of there's a saying that life imitates art and art imitates life. In other words, a lot of the ideas of biotech and such, like many of them actually came from the entertainment industry in many ways. And sci-fi, right? I mean, sci-fi was like oh, imagine if we could do, remember Jurassic Park in the 1990s? I mean, yeah, they were doing some cloning of like sheep and stuff back then, but it's just that whole idea of like, well, how do you extract this DNA, and then how do you put it into something else, and so on and so forth. One could make the analogies of like, well, those types of things were really the foundations of what we see as gene therapy today, and even moving forward, just really genetic engineering. So I don't know, I just find it really, really cool. I find it really, really cool, this like interplay between science and creativity and everything in between it. And just giving myself the opportunity to express through the digital medium more than anything. I mean, even these videos, right? Like this is all digital media. And I remember back in college, my favorite class in college, it was the art class, the one art class that I took, which was called digital media. And that's not to say I didn't like everything else, but if I had to choose one class in college that really like reshaped my thinking, I think it was really the digital media class, because at the time I didn't realize it, but like digital is like today, and it's really having a huge impact on society, right? Everything from social media, that's all digital media, to all of these different creative tools, like I mentioned, digital media. I mean, most everything that we do nowadays is digital, even the PowerPoint, Excel, all that stuff. One could really consider it the digital media. So it's fascinating to me. You know, I really am fascinated by this subject and topic, and playing around with it. You know, I have all of these different skills now at this point, and what I like to do is see, okay, well, I've got all these skills. Let's see what other people have. Like, what problems do they have? What's going on in their world, and how can I use some of these tools and these skill sets that I have to provide them not only assistance and guidance, but service more than anything. You know, I find it just so awesome to work with some of the clients that are my clients at the moment. They're just incredibly fascinating people, you know? And I learned so much from them, you know, because they're experts in their own field, and they have literally decades of experience. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be of service. So all that to say, keep up, thrive, and stay sexy.